Alright, hello Comics people. Ako si Mel Kasipit and welcome to Indie Comics Podcast. So I'm pleased to announce our official collaboration with the Philippine International Comics Festival 2025 happening on July 5 and 6 from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Megatrade Hall 2 SM Mega Mall. Okay, so as part of the partnership, we'll be conducting a special interview series featuring creators launching new titles at Pickoff. These interviews will be available on this podcast sa Facebook namin at sa YouTube channel ng IKP at syempre meron tayong live ngayon. So, welcome to the show, Albert Reyes, also known as Afterbron. Tama ba? Afterbron.
Sir.
Ayan. So bago tayo mag-umpisa, Albert, pakilala mo naman yung sarili mo at yung mga comics na gawa mo. Kasi nung in-interview kita first time ng face to face sa Pick-off din yun, no? Tama, no? Pick-off last year.
Sir, yun nga po last year.
Oo nga. Last year ng Pick-off.
Pero po,
Tapos part ka ng collective nyo, 'di ba? Ngayon parang nagsusolo ka na, tama ba?
ano po kasi sir um, Englishin ko na lang po. So, because I was the old president of the Makiling Comic Collective, so I was the one that had to do the interview. Because, like duty to the leader. And now that I'm not in the school anymore. I'm not part of the Makiling Comic Collective anymore. Like in my heart, I am, but and here I'm gonna be more on as Afterbron, my own personal brand, than last year where I was the representative for the Makiling Comic Collective.
Yun. Yan. So, bago tayo magkwentuhan, Albert, let's greet mga early viewers. Pau the Shark. Let's go, Albert. Sabi niya.
Ipaw!
Sabi ni Sharks. Burmas. Woohoo!
Yes, sir.
Yan.
Some of my friends and family are gonna be attending, so
Ayan. Ako yung kinakabahan ngayon na maraming manonood. Sabi ni Christian Angeles, congrats Albert Emir Reyes. Yan.
thanks, sir. Thank you po,
Sinend mo
Tito.
ba yung may pumasok na bago, si Joseph. Kilala mo?
Yes, sir. One of my close friends. Hi, Joseph.
Ilalive ba natin? Papapasukin ba natin si Joseph? Papapasukin ba natin si Joseph? Dito siya ngayon sa Pwede ko siyang ipasok eh.
Yes, sir.
Sige, go na. Yan. Hello, Joseph.
Sir, part ba po ng stream?
Oo. Wag na. Sige, remove ko
Wag
muna.
na, sir.
Sabi ni
Sorry.
Valerie Vergara Andrade, congratulations. Ayan. Okay. So, what are you excited about sa Pickoff 2025, Albert? Kasi last year, part ka ng isang collective at ngayon, ka na, solo. Afterbron. Pwede mo bang ikwento rin yung history ng Afterbron mo na palayaw? Paano mo siya naisip, ganyan? Ano yung thinking process mo?
Actually po, Afterbron started sometime during the quarantine. And I was remaking like some of my old Instagrams. And I was researching what names could be synonymous with something along the lines of like something along the inspiration, like work, and I found Brawn. Brawn means inspiration specifically, and after Brawn, means like it's after the inspiration, wherein after that bout of inspiration, you just do nothing but work because you that idea, that inspiration that got you to that just clicked everything together. And
Ayun.
for me, in Pickoff, I think one of the things I'm very excited about, aside from my comics being released, of course, is gonna be the new people that we're gonna meet. Because the Philippine International Comics Festival is such a large hodgepodge of culture. And it's not just the Philippines anymore. There's gonna be people from other countries where they're gonna share their culture with us. So you're not just getting like one side of narratives. Like you will see comics from every genre, every art style. And I just and I really want to read all of them. So I guess the simplest answer would be I'm very excited for the comics.
Yeah. Sobrang ano, it's very exciting to think about na merong International Comics Festival sa Pilipinas. Kasi iba yung ano eh, Toycon is
Sure.
different, cosplay events are different. Pero
Yeah.
yung International Comics Festival na comic centered, which is Pick-Off, yun yung nakaka-excite talaga.
Actually, sir, something very interesting that I could add to that is yeah, we have toy cons and we have cosplay cons. And you know, like comics is part of those trio. That's like very interesting. But in a way, this event kind of shows how far we've come when it comes to telling our stories through visual means. Because it's not just only us. We are spreading like we're spreading the stories that we have homegrown into other into foreign lands. Like people are reading like, oh, so also this is what like also this is how Filipinos write their stories. Like, oh wow, that's really interesting. Instead of just us reading, like each other's work as countrymen and critiquing it as such, I feel
Mhm.
like that is such a massive cause for celebration.
True. Yeah. Previously, yung mga Filipinos nagiging ano lang, napapabalitang artist siya sa X-Men, artist sa Marvel, artist sa DC. Bihirang-bihira tayong makabalita ng Filipino na writer ng sa mga international. It's always the
Yes,
artist,
sir.
pero ngayon comics na. The whole comics is being
Yeah, it's the whole
featured.
comics.
Yes.
Like both the idea and the executioner were made
Mm.
by Filipinos now.
Very exciting times. Let's
Sure.
greet some of our viewers again. Kasi ano to eh, parang nagulat ako, ang dami mong baon. Alili Aurelio Flores. Woohoo, Albert. Give Flores, good luck, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, your group is greeting you. Let's go, Albert.
Thanks, guys.
Luis Ethan Andrade, congrats. Here's to Pinoy Comics, Pau the Shark. And William Patrick Panganiban, congrats, man. Ayan. Okay, tell us something about your mask naman, Albert. What is it about? Is it a cosplay of your character?
Actually, sir, for me, I have two mascots. One is the usual one, the fly. Uh, I think it's also on the promo picture for this live stream. That's my, that's my very, that's my very very mascot, like legit.
Mm.
This one is the second one. His name is Rat Trap. He's a trap, daga. And I made this mask for this exact occasion wherein I need to talk. But the thing is, with my usual masks, the mouth is always covered, so people
Mm.
don't generally hear my voice. I
Mhm.
think, sir, very prevalent siya nung nag-interview ko tayo.
Yeah.
Um,
Pero dinig naman,
so I
thankfully.
made this.
Mm.
Yes, sir. It's because of the space here that allows my
Mm.
voice to travel outward instead of just around the helmet. Because, sir, every other helmet would be very hard to listen to, and it would be hard to hear from you.
Mhm. Yan. Now let's talk about the new releases that you will be um, promoting sa Pick of
Woo!
2025.
Yes,
Tell us
sir.
something about those two comics. Kasi alam ko dito meron yung nandito, nandyan, yung dalawang
Yes, sir.
comics
It's
na
on the
i-feature mo.
it's on the
Yeah.
media kit.
Mm-mm.
um,
Si-
for this event, I thought to make things special, and instead of just releasing one shot comic book, I think it would be nice where I would I would uh I would share two full blown one shot comics just for this event. And it's also a celebration and a farewell because these two comics might actually be the last one shots that I'll be making
Mhm.
because I am planning on writing more and more longer form comics. Kasi po, you can only tell so much in 30 pages, right, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like to experiment on something more long form,
Mhm.
something with more than just one chapter. And the stories that you'll see are something that's very unique, wherein it's my style. Something that I take pride in when it comes to my own work
Mhm.
is my writing style is something that cannot be replicated. Where it's weird and it's interesting, but it is quintessentially very Filipino. The
Yeah.
values it teaches, you know, like like both of them, Rambutan Man and Guerrilla Art, talk about aspects of Filipino culture in a way
Mhm.
I think that readers would find very interesting.
Okay. Pwede mo ba kaming bigyan? Can you give us a brief overview of what Rambutan Man is about as well as the guerrilla comics? Ano lang, parang ano
Actually,
lang,
sir,
medyo elevator pitch para may idea kami what it's
er,
about.
I think, sir, for Rambutan Man, it's very interesting because the hook is essentially the title. It's a man with a rambutan on his head. If you notice here on the artworks, his face is the rambutan,
Mhm.
and it's a comic where I'm striving to do more deeper topics, more social problems. For Rambutan Man, it's the issue that it's trying to solve is is more on the countrymen because the Rambutan Man himself, David, was tasked on a journey to. I mean, he was commissioned by his governor, like his local barangay's governor, Governor Saul, to assassinate a prisoner that escaped. And the dilemma of the story is both Rambutan Man and Pakwan Man, the target that he's trying to kill, Pakwan Man, a guy with the Pakwan on his head, are both people of the same race.
Mhm.
So the story has this interesting pull to it where is it okay to kill someone of your own kind?
Mhm.
Because Pakwan Man, even when he was like, yeah, he's a prisoner, but he is still ultimately someone who's just trying to survive, like Rambutan Man. Rambutan Man was just lucky that he got his job as basically a assassin for the governor. So there's also, like class divides, something along those kinds of themes when you read Rambutan Man. And it's a self-contained story where if you read it at the start and to the end, you will not feel kulang. It doesn't feel
Mhm.
kulang. Like it starts and then it ends. And there's and I think it's gonna be an interesting read for any viewers that would be interested in picking it up. For
Yeah.
guerrilla art, it is. more of I guess it's more of something interesting that I do because my high school, Philippine High School for the Arts, right, is basically a mountaintop vocational art school. Not a lot
Mhm.
of schools can have that title,
Yeah.
and I feel like the stories that I've made, like even just everyday day-to-day activities in that school, could be really interesting comic pitches. So with Guerrilla Art 2, I'm gonna explore one of the other things that a student artist would have like so much problems with, which is art block. It's
Mhm.
gonna explore like what the character, like how a character copes with, like how an artist copes with art block, and
Mhm.
how would like how would people outside of the artist's sphere would react to seeing someone in that art block.
Mhm.
Kasi 'di ba po parang ba't di ka makadrawing? Di ba kayang-kaya mo yun gawin dati? It's
Yeah.
one of those where, like no, like there's more to art block than just I can't draw. And
Mhm.
Guerrilla Art 2 is gonna explore those themes with, Alan, Eric, and Abigail being actually the outsider to someone's
Mhm.
art block.
Yeah.
There,
Looking at your work, Albert, and your characters, it's very unique and it's wild. I mean, who would think about Rambutan Man or Pakwan Man?
rambutan man.
Yeah. How does one think about those things? How did it came to be? Ganyan ba talaga
Oh,
ka wild yung isip mo talagang mag-isip? What if merong rambutan man? What if may pakwan
yeah,
man?
what if
Or
may rambutan man? What
what
if may
if
apakwan man?
yeah, what if
Like,
I'll
like
create a
the
story
assassin
about art
has
block?
a,
Yeah.
and the main character looks like Ultraman, as you can see in the character art. Like,
Mm.
kamukha nila si Ultraman, Kamen
Mm.
Rider. I think for me, sir, when I create characters, and this also applies to monsters, I would look at the context first. Actually, sir, something that you'll find interesting with my way of working is I draw what I think, and then I do research for 2 weeks on what the symbolism of the pakwan, what's the symbolism of the rambutan.
Mhm.
Um, for me, I think that character design is a balance of both research and creativity. Kasi if you only do creativity, it'll be too out there. Like there's no parang merong dissociation. There's a dissociation with the character and
Mhm.
its design. Like it doesn't act like how it looks. Um, when I was making Rambutan Man, actually, sir, I was reading the Bible.
Wow.
Um, if you notice, the name of Rambutan Man is David, and
Mhm.
his governor, the one that forces him to do bad things, is Saul,
Mm.
and his hacker assistant, his name is Bathsheba or Beth,
Mm.
and the name of Pakwan Man is Eliab, one of David's brothers in the Bible. And I thought, what would what would David be in that situation that could be interesting? I think he's like a rambutan, where on the outside he he like on the outside he's a hardened warrior, right? Saul killed his hundreds, and then David killed his tens of hundreds, right? That's how the saying goes. I
Yeah.
feel like that would not do service to what David in the Bible is actually thinking, because he's forced to fight under a king that doesn't want to let go of his crown, and I think it's breaking him on the inside. He's like a rambutan. Where on the outside, yeah, he's doing all these Herculean feats, but on the inside, he's like he he's a soft man. Like it's why he became like like I feel like it's his shepherd background, like coming back to him, and like
Mm.
him saying that I think this is like this decision is very bad.
Mhm.
And for me, I think that's what makes Rambutan Man very interesting. Because it starts off with a really weird character. You know, the prompt, guy with rambutan
Yeah.
for a head, and he has an eye in the middle of the rambutan. And he fights
Mhm.
with, two swords on his hands. It's really cool. But if you look deeper into it, it's obvious that the author is telling you something more than
Mhm.
just, you know, I'm weird, right? I make weird characters.
Yeah. Bago tayo mag-continue, let's another round of greetings from your fans. Richard Reyes, congrats Albert Emir Reyes. We're proud of
Kuya,
you. Mm. Zion Montebon, congrats.
oh, Zion.
Saffron Pile o Pile. Congrats, can't wait to read this
Oh,
soon.
hi Ate Mai.
Mm-mm. Marco Cosico, the new comics produced by Afterbron is proof of his overflowing ideas and creativity. Congrats.
Thanks, Sir
Ah,
Mark.
Ivy Carissa Sepe, hello Albert. Rambutan Man seems so relatable. Yeah. Napaka-relatable nan. Lahat naman
Mm,
kumakain ng rambutan. Luis Ethan Andrade, why make pakwan man o apakwan?
oh, that is really interesting. I feel like Pakwans are a tragic character, at least for me,
Mhm.
because they're very, they're very tasty, and they're also like, you know, like they're really tasty and very sweet. But if you don't watch out for the seeds, you'll choke on it, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
hidden danger underneath eating every pakwan. And that's one of the things that made me connect Pakwan Man as, as like one of David's brothers.
Mhm. Sabi ni Christian Angeles, amazing. Bible characters pala ang bida. Yan. Ano lang, minimix and match mo yung mga nakoconsume mo, di ba? Parang yun yung nai-imagine ko eh. You're hodgepodging your, kung ano-ano man yung nakoconsume mo. For example, yung isang character na nandito, yung naka-flash, yung parang clouds dito, ano yun eh. Di ba sa One Piece yun?
Ah, actually, sir, both po siya na One Piece po na rin. I guess po, in a sense. Pero rin po kasi, affinity
Yan.
rin po kasi siya ng main character. Ito po, Fire.
Mm-mm.
Since po siya po
Mm-mm.
yung bida, and his art is represented through his hot-bloodedness. So, like if you read like the previous books, usually po sir, yung kamay niya po yung lumiliyab habang
Yeah.
nagdo-drawing. So parang merong fire trails po habang nagdo-drawing siya.
Mm-mm.
And I wanted to show po parang that hot-bloodedness on the,
Mm-mm.
yun nga po, yung design po.
You mentioned earlier, Albert, that you have always been creating short stories, short comics, and then you're planning to do a new long form comics naman. Um, how would how would the working process be different from kung paano mo ginagawa yung short stories? Are you going to make, halimbawa, do more research para dun sa long form na ano? Are you going to read more long form content?
Uh, Sorry sir, can you repeat the question? Internet
Mhm.
kind of bugged out.
Oh, sorry. What are the preparations that you're doing in making the long form comics that you're planning to do in the future?
I think sir, for me, mix po siya ng external at saka internal po na introspection. Like what are the influences that I have that I can use on this comic? And what are something new that I could learn
Mhm.
while making it? Uh, One of the long form comics that I'm actually planning on making, sir, is guerrilla art. So it's very heavy on introspection of my past. Like, what is, like, on this particular occasion of my life as a high schooler, what did I truly think about this thing that happened to me? Like, both as a like both as an onlooker and someone that actively participated in the event. And I think having that lens, sir, while thinking about your own past really gives you some new things to pursue, at least to pursue. Um, for me, it's like, oh wow, parang di ko pala akala na ganito ako dati. Same for the other new works that I'm planning on doing. It's very heavy on both introspection and research. It's a mix of what do I know that I can use,
Mhm.
and also I think I need more knowledge on this particular setting.
Mhm.
Kasi hindi ko alam eh. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Let's let's talk about art block, Albert. You
Sure.
created a comics with a theme art block, but it seems like you're not having one because you keeps on producing comics after comics after comics. Have you ever
Actually,
experienced art
sir.
block, and what did you do to overcome it?
Oh man, yes sir. Alam niyo po sir yung pagsawang-sawa na po kayo sa trabaho na parang gusto niyo na lang po matapos.
Mm-mm.
Usually po after po those um, very stressful productions, that's when I ran out of ideas. Surprisingly, sir. Um, because I think every artist, writer, musician, dancer, alam niyo po sir yung no matter what your no matter what your passion is, especially in arts, you will inevitably come across a brick wall na parang hindi ko alam ano gagawin ko na. Like, what do I do? Right? Kasi, parang you're already too familiar with what you're doing. So, it doesn't stimulate. Kasi, sir, I think in my opinion, creativity is a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you flex and work on it, the more it gets stronger. Um, there's a few ways to usually get creativity. The best one for me is both finding out new things, but also taking breaks. Like letting your mind cool off for a second. Kasi, parang pagod na yung utak eh. Di ba po, sir? Parang
Yeah.
pagod na. So, wala na siyang mabuga.
Mm-hmm.
Di ba naman, sir, kahit naman athletes, di ba? Kung pagod eh, walang magagawa.
True.
Mag-underperform talaga siya. I think
Mm-hmm.
the same is true with your brain. So, taking breaks is very interesting. But another one that I think that also works is trying out something new. Pagbabike, like even if hindi ka marunong kumanta, you know, mag-edit ng video, like some of the things that keeps your, I guess keeps your mind running. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
both keeping your mind healthy kasi I think avoiding art block is inevitable, but we can have ways to counteract it when it inevitably appears, right? Uh, para sa akin, sir, mostly po yung mga paraan ko po ay yun nga po kakain po ng masarap or manonood po ng pelikula.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi po parang usually at that point parang kikidlatan na po kayo eh. Tapos, Eureka!
So, what's the longest time na hindi ka nakapag-drawing because you don't feel like drawing? Siguro, maybe 1 day, 1 week, 1 year?
1 week. Ano sir, parang after usually pag mabibigat lalo yung trabaho, pagod na po.
Mm-hmm.
I take weekly breaks or yung ginagawa ko po, parang once a week nanonood po ng at least isang pelikula para lang po gumagalaw
Mm-hmm.
yung utak. So, pareho
Okay.
po siyang pahinga tapos gumagalaw yung utak. Tapos next day,
Mm-hmm.
parang, okay, back to work. Actually, sir,
Yeah.
kayo ba po? Ano po yung, kung nagkaka-art block po kayo, since, yun nga po, pareho po tayong komikeros eh.
Yeah.
So, I'm also
Ano,
wondering, sir, what do you think?
um, what I do is I just do maglalakad, do a quick walk around the neighborhood.
Nga po,
Then
sir, no?
oo. Kasi there are times that you can't afford to not draw, especially if it's a commission, may deadline. Hindi pwedeng
Sure.
art block eh. Bawal 'yun. Otherwise
Apo.
magiging no, masisira yung reputation mo as an artist. So you need to meet the deadline. So if you are going to be a professional, whether you like it or not, you have to draw. Your drawing
Apo eh.
might not be great, but at least you met the deadline. Ganon. Uh,
If I can add to that, sir, I think for me, what's important is you can get in art block. Inevitable po siya. Mawawalan tayo talaga ng juice. Pero yung mas importante ay makakalabas ka dapat sa art block
Yeah.
na yun.
mhm,
That's
True.
where it really matters. Instead of
Yeah.
getting in, you need to think about getting out.
Yeah. And sometimes, feeling mo you're not in the mood, feeling mo you are nag-art block ka, but just trick your brain, sabihin mo lang sa brain mo na, I will just draw for 1 minute. And then, after that, magugulat ka na lang, nag-drawing ka na ng 1 oras, 2 oras.
Tapo,
Trinik mo lang yung
ano
brain
po,
mo. Oo.
yun po yung Afterbron, sir. Yun po yung Afterbron. Yung
Ay,
after po
spoil
yung
ko.
inspiration, nagdo-drawing.
Yeah.
Pero
Ayun.
may tawag po ako dun, sir. Eh. Hindi ko po alam kung ginagamit po ito ng ibang artist. Pero tawag ko po siya the zone. Parang in the zone po kayo. Na pag nagsimula na lang po kayo, di na kayo makatigil. Kasi
Yeah.
the ball is rolling eh. So,
Yeah.
kailangan mag-build ng momentum. Parang snowball. Nag-snowball po siya. Tawag ko po doon, yun nga po, tunnel vision. Parang yung focus nyo lang at that point is
Yun
creation,
lang. Yes.
drawing.
Yeah, nothing else matters. Magdo-drawing ka lang ng magdo-drawing.
Mga artist
Sabi
po
ni
eh.
sabi ni Sheila Bermas Reyes, creativity is like a muscle. Yan yung sabi mo kanina. Wow, hard work and quality rest.
I'm
Ayun. Sa lahat ng mga nagawa mong short comics, Albert, do you have a favorite, specifically favorite comics, o lahat yun gusto mo?
Nako sir, parang sinasabihan nyo po yung tatay na pumili ng isang anak. Alam nyong meron, pero hindi sasabihin sa harap nila. Alam nyo po yun.
Yeah.
Parang, lahat kayo, at kayo, anak ko. So, mahal ko kayong lahat. Tapos sasabihin kay
Pantay-pantay ang
Jeremiah,
tingin ko sa inyo. Oo.
mas gusto ko. Bubulungin na lang eh.
Mm.
Ang weird po sir eh. Kasi yung nangyayari po, yung nagiging paborito ko pong work, yung bago ko. Shill. Yan, yung paborito kong book yung bago.
Oo.
So, bilhin nyo.
Pero ganoon naman talaga kahit ako yung tinatanong eh. I always say that my favorite is my latest book. Kasi yun
Yun
yung
nga
ano
po.
yun yung culmination ng mga napag-aralan mo na eh. Yung doon mo kino-correct yung mga past mistakes mo. 'Di ba?
Opo. Yun nga po sir eh, na parang na-push ko yung sarili ko para magawa tong comic na to. So may bagong natutunan. And then after that, alam mo yung pagkatapos ng ilang libro, patitignan mo na lang yun. To sabi, ang luma. Dabi batang-bata pa ako nung ginawa ko to. Kasi makikita mo yung bagong trabaho, parang, oh my God! Kaya ko yun!
Yeah.
Kasi sir,
That-
for me yung every book is an experiment. Like you're always learning something new when you're drawing comics. That's actually why sir I'm gonna stop doing one shots kasi alam ko na po. I don't know everything but alam niyo po may unti na po akong knowledge sa kanya na kaya ko na pong maging kampante. And I would like to learn more new things, which is why I'm slowly transitioning po to long form content.
Yeah. Have you
And
ever
sir,
sige, go ahead. Sorry.
yung experiment ko po sir para sa rambutan man, explain ko lang po yung thesis ko dapat paborito ko. Is how do I make a more traditional way of storytelling but with my own flair. Na my first, my middle, my end. Na kasi po usually experimental po yung way of writing ko eh. I think
Mm.
sir kung nabasa niyo po yung Derivery o yung ano po, yung Derivery o yung Tech Whiz, mas
Mm.
ano po yung plot structure niya po, around the place.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm also learning how to do ano po, how to write stories that are not my comfort zone. Kasi po usually 'di ba sinasabi po na iba write what you know.
Yeah.
Pero po sir, I think for me, if you just write what you know, you'll have the same story over and over again. So nagiging stale po siya. I mean, okay po siya sa iba kung yung style of writing nila ganun talaga tos yun. Pero I think po para sa akin parang nakakasawa.
Mm.
Well, sir,
Yeah.
parang palagi yung sinusulat romance, 'di ba? Parang kating-kati tuloy yung gumawa ng horror, 'di ba po?
Mm.
O kung puro madugo
Yeah.
yung trabaho niyo, parang gusto ko ng mas ano muna, mas mahingin na trabaho.
Mm.
Um, para po sa Rambutan Man, pinush ko po yung sarili ko na mag-tell po ng story na hindi po masyado ganapin, which is social issues. Nga po,
Okay.
racism, prejudice, class struggles. I think po yun nga po, parang uncharted territory siya na sobrang proud po ako na
Mhm.
at least I pulled it off.
Yeah. Maganda yung advice na write what you know kung nagsisimula ka pa lang. But in your case, since you have been doing this for a long time, it's a good practice to challenge yourself on how to tell stories that you're not very familiar with but you're willing to do. Kasi that means you're experimental, you're making experiments, you're challenging yourself to be more creative. And I applaud that, and yan, congrats. I support that kind of thinking. Kasi may mga artists na kung ano lang yung alam nila, yun lang eh. Kasi this is my comfort zone, I don't want to push myself any further. I don't wanna be stressed, ganyan. Diba? So yun, apart from comics, what are the other things or other medium that you consume? You mentioned earlier you are watching movies,
Po, sir.
and I
Yes
assume
po.
you're also like um, observing how they structure the movie, yung storytelling, yung
Oo,
camera angles, di ba? Marami kang
yun
pwedeng
nga po eh.
matutunan sa movies eh. What are the other medium that you're consuming that you think helps you in creating your comics?
Ano po sir, something you'll find interesting po is songs. You will find a lot of really good inspirations in songs. Na kahit 3 minutes lang po sila, kaya nila mag-tell ng story through a more melodic beats, right? Like from start to finish, oh my God, ang ganda ng kantang yun. Papakinggan ulit.
Yeah.
Parang ang interesting niya po na, yun nga po, way of getting inspiration. Actually nga po, sir, yung main characters ko po sa guerrilla art, based po sila sa mga ano ko po, sa mga banda po na gusto ko. Yung babae po si Abigail, yung last name niya po, Buendia. At yung
Ellie Buendia.
Yung nga po si Ellie Buendia. And my other characters po, usually po yung pangalan po nila base po sa mga banda na gusto ko. Since, yun nga po, habang nagra-write po ako, pinapakinggan ko po sila parang, pwede to. Pwede yung themes ng kanta na to sa character ko. It really fits. And, kasi po, ang obvious po kung movies yung ano po, di ba? Movies, TV shows. Kasi meron na po yung shot placement, pwede ilagay sa panels, di ba parang kakopy nyo po yung action scenes, yung dynamic movement na in-incorporate po, ilalagay sa comics. But I think it's interesting if you use much more experimental inspirations for your works.
Yeah, that's true. Albert, why do you love making comics? It's very hard. It's very, very hard to create your own stories, to draw,
Sure.
to market, to sell. But still we do it. And you still do it. And I assume you will still continue to do it in the future. Why do you think that is?
naging kurso ko po sa college eh. Hindi po sir. I think, I think sir, lahat tayo, mga baliw lang, na, yun nga po, mahirap siya, ang ano po, yun nga po, ang hassle gawin, lalo po ako sir, mostly analog po yung traditions ko pag nagdo-drawing. I try my best not to use Photoshop. So most of ano po nasa papel na. So parang oh my god, ang mahal ng papel, ang hirap ng ink. Pero pagtapos na sir, ang saya eh. Actually sir, even during yung the fact po na nahihirapan po kayo sa isang trabaho. Ewan ko sir kung masokista lang po ako ha. Pero sir, parang may joy sa paghihirap ng paggawa ng comics. Na, oh my God, ang hirap nito. Pero alam ko na pag natapos na lahat, at nakita ko ng libro, may malaki po ang ngiti sa mukha ko. Parang, alam niyo po yung cloud be damned. Wala, parang pwedeng sumikat, pwedeng hindi. I mean, maganda kung sumikat. Pero, kasi ano po other people won't love your comic if you don't love it first. Di ba po? Parang yun po
Yeah,
yung
that's true. Oo.
And
Your first audience
yun
is
nga po,
yourself.
yes, sir. Kasi kayo nga yung gumagawa. You're your own critic, you're your own audience, and you are your own fan.
That's true. Nakakalimutan niya ng ibang mga creators eh. They're creating for other
Ano po?
people that hindi naman masama na mag-create ka for other people, but you need to create first for yourself. Do what makes you happy and it will resonate to the reader.
Ano po ako, sir, as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, I run on impulse. Alam niyo po yung pag may gusto pong idea, go through ko po siya, kahit gaano po kahirap.
Yeah. Actually, that mas magandang practice yung ganyan. Kasi minsan, when you put your idea out there, someone will criticize it and then mawawalan ka na ng gana.
Yun nga po
Has it ever happened to you na may binagsabihan ka ng idea, ay wag mong gawin yan kasi parang ganito lang yan, parang One Piece yan, parang Dragon Ball, wag na yan.
Actually, sir, thankful po ako na lahat po ng kausap ko very supportive po. Pero sir, kasi po parang binabalance out niya po siya since ako po yung pinakamatindi pong critic sa sarili ko. Pag nagtatrabaho po ako, sir, grabe po yung sinasabi ko po sa trabaho ko. Parang sinusumpa ko na po siya. Yun po yung parang pang-balance out po since yun nga po, thankfully, lahat po ng kilala ko po ay supportive sa decisions ko po as an artist. And so wala pong magpupush sa akin, kundi ako lang. Kasi po, criticism can be a motivation. Po. Na parang, sinabi mong pangit nito, pakita ko nga sa'yo paano.
Yeah. Sabi ni Saffron Pile, real, there are some kind of masochism behind making comics sometimes.
Actually po, sir, interesting. Alam niyo po, my name is Agong.
Agong.
Sir, siya po yung gumawa po, si Saffron Pile. Hi, Mais.
Yeah.
Sana naman matranslate na trabaho mo, dude.
Yeah, congratulations sa inyo. Napaka-inspiring. Even for me, na nagsimulang mag-comics ng matagal. And then I'm seeing your work and your group's work sa Makiling Collective. Nakaka-inspire na. Naalala ko yung sarili ko nung time na I'm just a new comics creator that is trying to share stories. Yan. Sobrang
Actually,
ano
po,
kasi,
sir,
sobrang
Yes,
prolific niya. Sige, go ahead.
You flatter me, sir. Pero I think po alam niyo po yung regardless of age or experience, we all inspire each other. Na ako po, sir, na-inspire po sa trabaho niyo po. The same way na na-inspire po kayo sa trabaho po ng club namin. Na nakikita po namin na pwede tong trabaho. Na kasi po kami po yung parang innovators pero kayo po, sir, yung trailblazers ng industry. Na yun nga po, kahit po nag-dark age yung comics, kahit po lahat nagsabi na hindi siya wala kang maupa dyan, nag-push through pa rin po kayo, sir. And yun po yung parang dahilan na bakit naging veterans po kayo. So, yun nga po, sir, parang na-inspire din po ako sa, yun nga po, yung mga trabaho po niyo. yung mga iba pong mga professionals po.
Yan, thank you, Albert. Medyo nag-slow down actually yung paggawa ko ng comics kasi nakapagtrabaho, life happens, and ito yung ma-advise ko sa mga young ones na kahit gaano ka busy, just draw, kahit konting-konti, huwag kayong tumigil. Do something kasi pag tumigil kayo, ang hirap bumalik. Mahirap,
Nga po,
sobrang
sir.
mahirap. As in, kung hindi pa
Actually, nga po,
nangyayari
yun
sa
din
inyo
po
yun,
yung-
oo, it will happen kasi minsan nakakatamad na talagang mag-drawing kapag pagod. Lalo na kapag ang
Nga
work
po,
mo, drawing din.
drawing din po, no?
Oo,
So,
tapos
parang
ang hobby mo,
nakakapagod
drawing
yung
din.
inspirations niyo.
Yeah.
So, nakakapagod. Gusto ko pa ba to?
Sabi ni Luis Ethan Andrade, do you have art that you think holds up now?
Sa tingin ko lahat ng maganda yung score galing kay Comic Ninja. Yun yung nag-hold up. Hindi. Pero I think you learn something with every work you made. You know, like, etong trabaho na to, ito yung natutunan ko paano mag-drawing to. And I think there's some appreciation and like, I think there's some merit in appreciating your own works. Na ang dami niyang kulang, ang dami niyang pero para sa edad na yon, wow, kaya ko pala yun gawin dati. Na kahit kasi parang naalala mo na lang yung past na na ang hazy to, ang hirap. So pag nakita mo yung lumang trabaho, parang kaya ko pala yun.
Yeah.
Kayo, sir,
That
what do you
nangyari
think?
sa akin yan. Sabi ko kapag tinitingnan ko yung mga gawa ko noon, nakakapag-drawing ako ng everyday. Everyday nakakapag-drawing ako, nakakapag-produce ako ng page. That hirap na akong gawin ngayon.
Nga po eh.
Looking
Kasi sir,
back,
ba yung context eh? Di ba
yeah,
po?
looking back, alam ko naman na that time wala akong trabaho. I have time because I don't have work. Ngayon na I have work,
Po,
I have lesser time. So, mahirap talaga.
parang
sabi ni-
tamang na lang po siya.
Yeah, sabi ni Gerald Dorado, Comics Man. Dati kami yung mga bata anyari. Siyempre,
Tumanda po kayo, sir eh.
time pass, mga time skip. Yan. Panoorin niyo yung
time
mga
skip.
yeah. Panoorin niyo yung Comics Man podcast, may mga series of interviews din for pick-off sa mga creators. Yan, si Idol Bong Redila, congrats.
Po. Thank you.
Ayan. Ang sarap ng usapan. I would like to talk to you, Emir, for a longer period pero malapit na tayong mag-time.
Sure,
Ito
ako
na
rin
lang.
eh.
What can you advise to aspiring comics creator? Ano to? Gas-gas na question na but it still holds
Yun nga
up
po
kasi. So, what can you advise to aspiring comics creators na gusto ring maglabas ng comics sa Pick-Off, Comiket, Comic-Con, or any other event or online?
Tingin ko po para sa akin, stay hungry, guys. Kasi mga bata pa tayo, what we have as an advantage compared to much more experienced folk is bago pa lang yung comics sa mata natin. So mas gutom tayo na gumawa. And yung pagpapayo ko po ay magutom lang ng magutom. Na sana yung drive nyo na magtrabaho, yung parang obsession, yung tamang pagkakabaliw lang na paggagawa, ay makikeep up along the line before ka maging experienced at yung nga mas more reserved sa choices mo. So, is po. That's a good final question. I'll give a good final answer. Stay hungry.
Yan, stay hungry. So guys, huwag kayong kumain. Stay hungry. Joke lang.
Only eat
Joke lang.
1 meal a day.
Yes, 1 meal a day.
Yung totoong komikero, toyo, kanin lang kinakain.
Papansit canton lang, walang rice.
Opo. O yung
Mm.
kape, hinahalo na po sa kanin. Yun na po yung breakfast at yung lunch.
That's true. Albert, where can we follow you sa online? Saan ka mas pinaka-active?
Sir, I have both a YouTube, Facebook, at saka Instagram. Ah, yung name ko po Afterbron ay yung name din po ng mga accounts na yon. Naswertehan
Mm.
po ako na pinili ko po weird na pangalan like Afterbron. So, my first dibs po ako sa mga account names ko
Good, good.
and wala pong competition. So, if
Mm.
you search Afterbron, isa lang po yung option na makikita nyo, which
Ikaw
is
lang yan.
yours truly.
Mhm. Ayun. Sabi ni Gib Flores, we stay hungry, we devour. Yan. Okay. Yan, thank you very much Albert Reyes Afterbron for the interview. Maraming na-inspire including myself. The Philippine International Comics Festival PICOF 2025 will be held on July 5 to 6, Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Mega Trade Hall 2, SM Mega Mall. Watch out for the live interviews happening during PICOF 2025. Ayan. So, thank you sa lahat ng mga nanood sa episode namin. If hindi nyo napaumpisa itong episode, please go to Indie Comics Podcast YouTube channel with a K para mapanood yung mga previous episodes ng namin. Alright? So, thank you so much everyone, and also please do subscribe sa YouTube namin. Malaking bagay yan. It's free para mas marami pang makanood nitong mga ginagawa namin pag-promote sa local comics sa Philippines. Thank you, comics people. Bye-bye.
Bye, 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 bye.